All right, here's my reloading bench. It's not the cleanest, not the neatest, but it works. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna load some 38 special. All right, so when loading the 38 special case, I do it in a three-part process. I decap, resize, and reprime in one process, 100 rounds at a time. That allows me to get through 100 in under 12.5 minutes. And then if I have to walk away, if I've just got a couple minutes to run through the shop and do 100, I can do it like that. And then they go into this container and wait for the next step, either now or later on when I get some time. So I'll take, first thing I'll do, and each one of my hands does two jobs. That's how I get it done in under 12.5 minutes. My left hand pulls a case from the bucket. It's ready to go. Inserts it. At the same time, my right hand is grabbing the primer, putting it in. Left hand's working the pump. And then right hand throws it in the new one. That way I can do it with speed and one hand's not getting mixed up and throwing primed brass in with unprimed brass and screwing up the process. So like I said, that takes me about, we'll just call it 12.5 minutes. And now I'm ready to move on to flaring them for the bullet. The bullet we're going to be loading, I think, we're going to do, I haven't decided. I need to see how many of what I got. I got some 158 grain semi-wad cutter, real rough cast kind of stuff. Then I got powder coated 158 grain semi-wad cutters. But I need to see how many of these, which actually I try and load these in 357 for planking with the rifle, so that'll be a no. These are going to be for my Ruger GP 100, and also, if I feel like being nice, my brother's K-frame Smith & Wesson 19-3. So they're going to be pretty low, just steel target stuff here in the yard. So yeah, we will get it set up for the next process, and we'll go through how I flare it. All right, so now we resize these. And this is simple. The only reason you do it is so that this bullet will sit in there nicely. So when you put it in your press to seat the bullet after putting powder in it, it sits in there nice, doesn't get all wobbly and all that. And it takes me about 2 seconds a round to do 100 rounds. So then that's it. Do 100 of them. And then we're ready to pick a powder. All right, so now we're going to load the bullets and the powder. These out of here. These are the bullets we're loading, but I'm going to use a reduced power load for a little snub-nosed revolver, which we'll look at later. So the way I do this is I'll take my powder, which we're going to run IMR target. I really like this powder for 38 special and 45 auto. So this is really easy. Again, we have our prepped cases. Now I've already gone through and I figured out what spoon is going to give me the desired result. Like I said, this is a low power charge, and this spoon here is about a grain more, gives you a little more ass behind it. Now my funnel here, and it's really simple. I just scoop my powder, dump it in, and I'll do about 10 of these in my tray. And once they've all got powder in them, I'll go and I'll I'll set the bullets inside of them. Put it in the press. Boom. And I've done the math, and to load 100 rounds, I think takes me just about an hour to get 100 rounds done. That's decapped, resized, primed, filled with powder, and bullet seated, which is it was a pretty good time frame out of a single stage. So kind of if you're getting into, or you're thinking about getting into reloading, single stage is great. I've got so many thousands of rounds through this press right here. You know, it does everything I need to do. And there's what our end result there. And we're gonna do a couple of these, and then we're gonna go shoot a couple of them off out of my snub nose 38, out of my 6-inch 357, and then out of my 16-inch lever action 357. Kind of see where these are running. I already know that this reduced load in the 38 is great. I don't expect any issues out of the 6-inch 357. I'd be curious to see what it does out of the 16-inch. Normally I only fire jacketed 357 out of that, or real heavy lead cast hunting stuff. So we're gonna see what these three do to each other, or do out of each barrel. And yeah, and then we'll start getting into the differences in the guns, and we'll carry this on through some of my specialty loads, as well as the difference between a 357 pistol load and a 357 rifle load, and kind of talk about why it's different. So bang a couple more of these out, and then we'll go run over to the range right here, and we will shoot them up. So these are the three guns that we're going to be working with throughout this 38 357 series. I'm going to kind of do here. First, this is a Taurus 856. This is the newer one with the pinned front sight, as you can see. So that'll get a new sight eventually. I've gone through a lot of different carry guns, from full size to subcompact, and I always end up coming back to these little Tauruses. I think they're fantastic guns. This is a plus P rated gun. I think they're great. I've never had an issue with them. There you go. Well, this one does not say plus P, but I swear it was. But anyways, 38 special. When you've got a barrel that small, and we'll go over this as we get into some of the differences, but 38 special out of this and the right load, out of a barrel this size, is going to do everything you want it to do. But we'll get into a lot of that on its own. The next one is the GP 100. This is a 6-inch. This is, in my opinion, one of the best revolvers ever built. I do have a Colt Python, so I've compared these against everything from Taurus trackers to security 6s to all sorts of Smith & Wesson, and of course Colt Python. If I could have one revolver, this is the guy to have. They are just fantastic. They are smooth. I absolutely love them. This right now is loaded with 357 mag. These are some hunting rounds that I had put together. If I can get it out, which I can't because I'm doing this one-handed. There we go. That's 180 grain. It's got a copper gas check at the bottom. They're really nasty. Kick like a mule, but they are. And then last but not least, this is a new to me Rossi 92. I do have another video up of my previous Rossi 92, which is set up pretty much the same way. Only difference is this one's a big loop and I have not gone through and polished some of the rough edges or lightened up some of the springs. We'll get into this as a part 2 for the Rossi 92 and actually show you all the things that we do with these to just smooth them up. This is also one of my favorite guns ever built in this cartridge. This, as you can see, this is a new one, built Brastec by Taurus. I know Taurus gets a lot of hate. This is one of the toughest 357 lever guns that you can own. Just the double locker here, double lug, excuse me. They're fantastic. I have tens of thousands of rounds through the one that I swore I'd never sell and I sold, but that's a story we'll get into when we get into kind of the fine things about this. But what we're going to do is introduce you to the range here, and then we're going to fire a round that I just loaded out of each of these, see how they perform. Our range goes, you know, we have some small pistol stuff. I've got an IPSC right in the middle of this laneway, and then I've got a 160 yard target you can't see now, but way across the other side of this meadow. So I've got a pretty good little setup here. We're just gonna check point aim, point of impact on these real quick on these rounds that I just did. So we'll do that, and then yeah, we'll start moving forward on our little 38 357 series here. All right, so this will be out of the Taurus. We're just going to take one pop shot here. It was a little more stout than I thought it was going to be. But that's all right. This will be out of the Ruger. Pretty goddamn stout. Now the Rossi, we hit this IPSC down here. Well, they all went bang. Just kind of hoping might need to back it down a little more. Just hoping for a little less recoil out of the 856. But what I felt tells me I've got quite a bit of room to work with as far as powder wise. I think I'm sitting at 2.3 now. You know, if I can get it down, maybe even 2. I just want to be able to shoot that 856 multiple times in an outing. Those of you with small J-frame size carry pistols like that know that shooting heavy load, you know, after 5-6 cylinders worth, it starts to beat you up pretty bad. So I wanted one that you could get through a box of 50 or 100 if you wanted to. So we're going to keep working on that, and once we kind of get that dialed in, then we'll come back and we'll continue on with this 38 and 357 series. So that's what we got right now. Stay tuned, and we'll get some more info out here.